Just before the break, we were talking about the bombings of Brahmanbaria, the fertilizer plant going up in the smoke. Mr. Imran Chowdhury, the exodus began. People started to
Yes,
leave.
as soon as it was around 4:30 in the afternoon, late 4.
Do you remember the date?
It was the 11th of April.
April.
And so as soon as the aircraft left, the whole town was in fire. The Titash gas, all these areas by the bank of the river Titash was absolutely in fumes.
Mm-hmm.
And the confusion was that Pakistan Army is enveloping Brahmanbaria from two ends. One is Akhaura end coming through the railway, one is Boirob end coming through the railway. And the word in the air was Bhago.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as the air raid went, I was completely wet. We were literally in the trench, the air shelter trench, which was in water and so many ants. So we just came out and said, Bhago, and my mom decided, let's go. Where? She said, we don't know, let's get out of this place. So myself, my brother, the elder brother, my two younger brothers, one was 7-year-old, one was 8.5, and my sister, 15-year-old, we just left whatever we were wearing. We did not even lock the door, we did not get the money because we had enough time to get some cash from the banks because up to the 11th, treasury and everything was operating. We drew some money, but out of panic, we just forgot. And that is the end of my cozy life and the life as a refugee, the exodus starts.
And you were 10 by then?
I was 10. First night we were running and walking, and I don't know how. I still remember as if my heart was in my throat. And this is something, people were shouting at the back, and people were saying that Pakistan Army is coming, Allahu Akbar, Ya Ali, and we were running and we were saying, La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minaz zalimin. And I was wondering why the guy who is trying to kill me is also uttering the name of the same God, and I'm also uttering the name of the same God to rescue me. How is this going to perpetuate into? That was a dichotomy I had. So by the time it became dark, March, April is normal daytime. It's about 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock. We went into a village. We have no idea which way we are going, where we are going. We have never lived in a village, never in our life. We only went to our village home for Eid for 2 days. We always were very urban. My mom and dad, both of them were born in Calcutta, so they are not used to living in villages. So we went to a village, and hundreds of people in that village. It's called Paghachong, in between Akhaura and Brahmanbaria. We went to that village and went to a house. They said, yeah, stay in our house. But
Who were the occupants of that village?
Don't know. Just some stranger's house we walked into. Saw an affluent house with a couple of buildings. We went in. They said, you can, but there is no room because I have already got 60, 70 people. So the chance was we live in the Goal Ghor, the Goru Jekhane. They moved the cows away. We slept there all night. From a cozy bed, overnight, I slept literally in haze. Slept on the haze all night and got up in the morning. We had one roti, big roti, and gur, molasses, and that was our breakfast. And to be honest with you, from that day till the 17th of December, I haven't had a proper meal. I haven't eaten a proper meal, not a lavish proper meal. I think we came back on the 17th. On the 18th, we reached Sylhet, and we had a proper meal in 4th Sector headquarters.
What was the condition of the other members of the family?
Everybody was in shock. My youngest brother was 7-year-old. So myself and my elder brother, we were taking him onto our shoulder and walking. And I have never walked in a muddy aisle of a paddy field. And you can't just walk straight on that. Right. Every step you give, you slip into the side. And these are all borodhans, full of water and slashy, muddy mud, basically. You just dig into deep up to your ankle over knees. So that was very hard. The next morning, we traveled till the time we reached India in 1st of May. From 11th, we traveled from Pagachang to Chowdhury. I remember the villages. From then Haturabari, from there to Mandarpur. These are all Koshba, Brahmanbaria area. Then we went to Shimral, then we went to Dapunia, another village. From there, we made a cross-country move all the way, crossing the CNB road, which was like crossing the biggest obstacles in your life, because that
All
was...
these villages were habited?
Yes, all habited. I can't, thank them enough. Thank them. They were so good. They were, the hospitality.
But they did not run away.
They didn't run away, but they didn't want us because we were the only well-spoken, a little bit affluent. My mom talks a little bit in English, and they were all fearful. If you guys stay here, the Pakistanis will come and they will kill us. And of course, by this time, this is a big thing. The people, Bangladeshi people should know, the new generation should know. Before we could even organize the freedom fighters, the dalals were produced by then. They were grassing the Pakistan army, saying that this village has, and we don't have a man with our family. So they immediately worked out, and my brothers were talking about it. And on the 30th or 29th, one of the sepoys from my father's company, I don't know, still today we talk about it with my sister. How did he find us? There was no sat-nav, no postcode, nothing. He just came to Brahmanbaria. He just, found us in a village and said, my father said, he has moved to Kailashahar in India, and he asked us, anyway, move to India if you can. And then the guy, his name was Sipai Mustafa, we used to call him Mustafa Kaka, and we have never seen him. He used to be from Feni, and we have never seen him. I don't think he made it his home, or we don't know. Maybe he lost his life in the war. So then we traveled to India. We reached India, and there was no refugee camp, and we had a lot of trepidation, a lot of reservation, because my mom left Calcutta in 1949 when all this, partition and all that Hindu-Muslim things were happening. My mom said, again, going back to India, I don't know what's going to happen. Are we going to be accepted or not? But we went in. The village called Dhajanagar, opposite that is Pandavpur in Tripura, near Melagor, where Khaled Musharraf's camp was. It's about 4 miles away from there. We reached there. And the people of Pandavpur, the Hindu houses, the BSFs, they opened their arms and embraced her. And I just wondered, what is happening when we are getting killed by the same people of the same religion? And look at this, these people are accepting us, giving us their house. In fact, they gave us one of their rooms. They said, you go to the kitchen and do your cooking, give us utensils, gave us clothing, gave us beddings and everything. One of the rooms was evacuated for us. And I just wondered that, and then I thought, it's religion, I think humanity triumphs over religion. And from then onwards, something embedded in me that I work relentlessly to create a cohesion in between religion, interfaith, and all of that. Anyway, to cut this story short, we lived there for 15, 16 days. All we know, there is a place called Kailashahar where my father is. So we were about to move to Kailashahar. We don't have anything. My mom's golds, rings, the chains and necklaces, everything we sold, got some money. We are going to go to Kailashahar to meet my father. And the journey is the perilous journey that you can ever afford to think. You have to walk
all on foot.
All on foot to go to the main road, the Agartala Sabroom road, which is about 9 miles. From there, if you're lucky, you will get a bus, those Dibba Muritin. You go to Agartala. From Agartala to Dharmanagar is very close to Assam. You go by bus, truck, or jeep. Now, one side is the hill, 90-degree hill, and the other side is the ditch. So if you make a mistake, you will very unlikely to go to Kailashahar. So we were about to take this journey. At the time, my uncle, my fufu was MP, MNA from Koshba in 1970 election. She was a very tall student leader of Kumilla. her brother came to find us. And these are all coincidental. I don't know how they found us. There's no sadness, there's no letters, there's no address that we had. He found us and said, what are you doing here? And my fufu said, no, pack up your goods. You are going to this camp, Surjamani Nagar special camp set out by Agartala. Oh, I am so grateful to the people of India. I have no language to express my gratitude or give any reparation to them that what they have done for us in 1971. I'm absolutely indebted to them. And then my uncle took us to this Surjamani Nagar, which is about 3.5 miles from Agartala, near Amtoli, and there was a proper camp. Proper camp means they were setting up with a proper height, not like 3 feet tall. It was a proper height, but 12 by 12 rooms, no windows, because it's all made of bamboo, so they couldn't make windows or anything. And we were the first family to move there. And this special camp was actually established for the elites, the member of parliaments, the executives, the secretaries, and top echelon people. So we had, Khalid Musharraf had a room there, Motia Chowdhury had a room there, Tajuddin had a room there, Abdul Jabbar his family lived with us. Kamal Bhai came before he went to move to where he went for training, we don't know, but he came and stayed with us for Sheikh Kamal, I'm talking about 2 days. And Ashama Abdul Rob was a visitor in the camp, Firdaus Ahmed Quraishi, Sheikh Fazlul Haq Mani. It's all elites of the freedom fight who were organizing the freedom fight from the Tripura sector. And that was the camp. And it was, I don't think we would have got chance to be there, but it was because this was given to my fufu and we lived there in room number A2 and A3. This was the 2 rooms that we had. And then we didn't go to Kailash Shahar. Meanwhile, after about 3-4 weeks, we went to Kailash Shahar, myself and my mom, leaving my brother and sister with my elder brother, and met my father. And my father, this book has just came out a few months ago. It's written by Major General Sarwar Hussain. He is the military secretary to the President of People's Republic of Bangladesh, incumbent. He has written in this book, in page number 86, it says that in Sylhet region, the first revolt that took place on the 27th of March was under the command of my father, Fazlul Haq Chowdhury, in Shamshernagar Airport. So from there he moved to, he killed, his troops ambushed Captain Ghulam Rasool in Shamshernagar. He went to meet Khalid Musharraf. He was there in Shamshernagar in the Dak Banglo. Khalid Musharraf didn't understand what to say. Said, Chaudhry Sahab, apni apnar ব্যবস্থা করেন, I'm going towards Brahmanbaria. So then my father found wireless কথা বলেছে Nasib Ali, then Subodar Mannan Kaka was a very close friend of my dad, B.R. Chaudhry, who was in Thamabil, and they tried to organize. Luckily, my father happened to know Mr. Commandant Manik Chaudhry. I don't know whether you have heard the name of him. He is a very tall Awami League leader. He used to be a Ansar commander, and my father and him are known to each other from 1960s. So he went to meet him in Hobiganj. Then Manik Chaudhry said, Chaudhry, why don't you go and meet Captain Syed Dotto? He lives in this village. So went to see Colonel Syed Dotto. Then Manik Chaudhry took Syed Dotto, my dad, and Manik Chaudhry drove to Colonel Rob. So that is how they were dragged into the freedom fight. Then I think 29th or 28th, my father attacked the platoon that was 31 Punjab in Maulvi Bazaar. And then they moved to Sylhet. So there was a fight in Sadipur and Sherpur, and the fight in Sylhet to recapture it back from 31 Punjab and 3-wing and 12-wing EPR, but they couldn't.
How long did you spend the time in that refugee camp?
We lived there till the 17th of December morning, yes. We lived there 17th of December morning. It was the most...
And during this period you had some personal loss, isn't it, your brother?
Oh, well, what happened is, we went and met my father, we came back, my brother went and met my father, because everybody couldn't go, we couldn't afford it, the journey. Although, like I said, India, you don't have to say anything that time. All you say, Joy Bangla, your ticket. no train, no plane, no bus, no truck. They wouldn't take any money. That's why I say that the humanity and the touch of favors and the kindness the people of India has rendered to the refugees is unbelievable. So my brother came back from Kailasahar, and one day we were eating, and you know broken rice, Bangla bole khut. Because I stood in the queue, and everybody was pushing me, shoving me. I was only 10 years, tiny young man. So by the time, Bengali people don't like queuing, so they were crossing over me and going in the top, crossing me and taking the ration. By the time I reached, there was no food left, no ration left. So I came back with empty food. And my mom cooked some khut, and we had khichuri dhorner, something we had. Sad days. And my mom said to my brother, if you guys are sitting home, then we'll never be independent. Go and fight.
Well, great sentence and great statement. On this, we will take a break.
Thank you.
And when we come back, we'll talk about good days. Inshallah.
Yes, inshallah.
Thank you for being with us. We'll be back after this very short break. Don't go away.